The Memphis Tigers football team is fairly new to the college football world. Starting play in 1960 as an independent, Memphis has made 12 bowl games in their entire history. They are not famous for their football team, and for a while, the school couldn't produce anything on the football field. Up until 2014, they never had a season where they reached 10 wins in a season, and for many years before that 2014 season, the Tigers were at the bottom of their respective conference. However, over the past 6 seasons, the Tigers have qualified for the postseason in every single year, produced many NFL players, and have even been ranked in the top 25. Somehow, this team has been on the rise and has become one of the most consistent teams in all of college football. But how exactly did we get to this moment? In today's video, we'll be looking at the rise of Memphis football. The start of this Memphis football era begins in 2012, where Memphis were fresh off 3 straight losing seasons under longtime coach Tommy West and his replacement Larry Porter. West had a ton of success at Memphis as he led them to 5 bowl appearances in his tenure from 2001 to 2009, but from 2009 to 2011, Memphis had 3 straight losing seasons where their records were 2-10, 1-11, and 2-10 once again. Larry Porter, who replaced West in 2010, was fired after winning a total of 3 games in his 2 years on the team, and once again, Memphis was looking for a new coach. They were on the verge of moving to the newly formed American Athletic Conference, which was a jump from Conference USA, and they needed a coach to take them into a new era of Memphis football. They decided to hire Justin Fuente, an assistant on the TCU football staff. Fuente was an offensive guru who was a part of a TCU team that won the Rose Bowl over Wisconsin and was the quarterback's coach for Andy Dalton. Fuente's first season in 2012 didn't go as planned, as the team finished with a 4-8 record. The big positive from that season was that they improved on their record from the previous year, and they did start out at 1-8 but ended the season winning 3 straight games. The following year in 2013, the team went 3-9 in its first season in the new American Athletic Conference. Their offense dropped off a lot in talent that season with freshman quarterback Paxton Lynch, where the team averaged 5 less points than they did the year before, but the defense stepped up and allowed 6 less points than they did the year before. The jump by the defense was huge and one that the team fed off of for the next season. In 2014, the Tigers didn't have many expectations heading into the new season, but Fuente and Memphis shocked the entire college football nation. The team started off the year at 3-3, which was their best start in years, and they ended the year on a 7-game win streak to finish in a 3-way tie for first in the AAC. They won their bowl game that year in 2 overtimes against BYU, and the team finished the season at 10-3, which was their best ever finish. Quarterback Paxton Lynch also took off, where he threw 22 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. His large frame allowed him to also do work on the ground, where he rushed for 13 touchdowns. He, along with running back Brendan Hayes, who rushed for 955 yards, helped Memphis to have the 22nd best offense in the nation, where they averaged 36 points per game. The defense stepped up in a big way, as they allowed 19.5 points per game, which was good enough for 11th best in the nation. The team was able to step up in big ways in the second half of the season, and as a result, the team had their best ever finish. After gaining national recognition following their second ever top 25 finish in team history, big things were expected from Memphis in 2015. The Tigers started out that 2015 season at 8-0, and after they defeated number 13 Ole Miss 37-24, they would join the top 25. Unfortunately for Memphis, they didn't end the season too strong. They finished the rest of the campaign with a 1-4 record, including devastating losses to division rivals Navy and Houston, and after losing their bowl game to Auburn, the team finished at 9-4 on the season, and 3rd in the AAC West. The offense played phenomenal on the year, where they averaged 40 points per game, good enough for 11th in the nation. And it was all led by quarterback Paxton Lynch, who once again made a huge jump, throwing 3,700 yards and 28 touchdowns to just 4 interceptions. The defense is what ultimately held this team back, as they allowed 27 points per game, and in the 4 games they lost, the team allowed over 30 points in each game. And unfortunately for the Tigers, change was going to be on the horizon. Because of their recent success, head coach Justin Fuente earned a job at Virginia Tech, and Paxton Lynch declared for the NFL draft with a projection that he could be a first-round prospect. To replace them, Memphis hired Arizona State's offensive coordinator Mike Norvell, and at the age of 34, he became the youngest head coach in the nation. And in the 2016 recruiting class, the Tigers appeared to have the replacement for Lynch in 3-star JUCO quarterback Riley Ferguson. Memphis didn't miss a beat in 2016, and Ferguson played great in his first season. But it would be the same story as the previous year, a hot offense that ranked among the best in the nation coupled with a defense that was average. The team started out at 5-1, with their only loss coming on the road to Ole Miss, but they once again dropped a big game at Navy mid-season, and after going 1-2 the next 3 weeks, the team ended their year with a big conference win over Houston, before losing their bowl game to Western Kentucky to finish at 8-5. In just his first season, Ferguson threw for 32 touchdowns and almost 3,700 yards, almost surpassing the mark set by Lynch the previous season. But the defense was a cause for concern, and they didn't make any strides for the previous year. But it was the 2017 season where the Tigers reached a new height and really cemented their place among the best non-Power 5 teams in the nation. Ferguson's legacy continued to grow, this time throwing for 38 touchdowns and 4,200 yards. But with a strong rushing attack of Patrick Taylor Jr. and Darrell Henderson, the Memphis offense ranked second in the nation, averaging 45 points per game. And with this powerful offense, Memphis steamrolled to a 10-1 record, winning the AAC West Division. They defeated number 25 UCLA and number 25 Navy along the way to get here, with their only loss coming to UCF. And their opponent in the AAC championship game would be, of course, UCF. A rematch, and with both teams ranked in the top 25, this game had huge implications on the New Year's 6 bowl games. In a 2-overtime thriller that combined for 117 points, UCF ultimately won after making a late comeback. Memphis ended their season with a bowl loss to Iowa State to put them at 10-3 on the season, finishing at 25th in the AP poll. The defense once again held the team back as they ranked at 102nd in the nation, allowing an average of 32.5 points per game. The team would lose Ferguson to the NFL as he was a senior, but they would be just fine. 4-star quarterback Brady White, who had committed to Arizona State, announced he would transfer away with a few years of eligibility left, and he ultimately chose to come to Memphis. White was projected to continue this newfound trend of dominant Tigers quarterbacks, and he did just that. In 2018, the team got off to a slow start, however, going 4-4, which is the first time the team had cited a 500 record since their early days in the AAC. They narrowly lost to conference rivals Navy and UCF by a combined 2 points, but they responded well to end the season. The team rallied off 4 straight victories to once again set up a date with UCF in the AAC championship game, only to come up short 56-41, and then once again ended the season with a bowl loss, this time to Wake Forest. White, combined with a 3-headed rushing attack with Henderson, Taylor Jr., and Tony Pollard, led the Tigers to the 7th best offense in the nation, averaging 43 points a game, but a defense that was 94th in the nation once again prevented the team from going further. It was yet another season of getting to the big game and coming up short, but 2019 was hopeful. They had been recruiting well on defense the last few years, and after finally getting rid of defensive coordinator Chris Ball and replacing him with Adam Fuller, the defense stepped up in its own way. They were once again projected to win the AAC West, and they started out the season fast, getting to 5-0 and earning a spot back in the top 25. Upon that entry, however, they lost to Temple on the road by 2 points, and then reeled off a 6-game win streak, with wins coming against number 15 SMU and number 19 Cincinnati. They finished at 7-1 in the conference, earning the top spot in the AAC West on a tiebreaker and getting to the championship game once again. They faced off against Cincinnati, who they beat the week before, and this time it would be the Tigers celebrating an AAC championship in the end, winning once again 29-24. It was their first ever conference championship game win, and although they came up short in the Cotton Bowl to Penn State, they finished in the top 25, finished with a top 10 offense, finished with 12 wins, and finished with a conference title, capping off an impressive season. Norvell would be hired as the head coach at Florida State, and replacing him would be offensive line coach Ryan Silverfield. And if you weren't paying attention over the last few seasons, Memphis football has slowly built themselves to be one of the more consistent programs in the nation. This 6-year span of 6 straight winning seasons with 3 double-digit winning seasons is nothing short of impressive. Before this period, their football program was never really in the conversation, but now they're conference favorites and are a top group of 6 school almost every year. Of course, they've lost 5 straight bowl games, but this 6-year span is nothing like Memphis football has ever seen. There's plenty of credit to go around everywhere for this rise. The recruiting, although maybe not eye-popping, has certainly helped this team. There aren't many 4-stars in these classes, but they get guys that have chips on their shoulder and something to prove. And they recruit well, particularly in the South, getting guys from Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Texas, along with their in-state recruits in Tennessee. They have also had some of the best recruiting classes in the conference, especially recently where they finished 6th or higher every season since 2015. The board have also aced their last 2 head coach hires in Justin Fuente and Mike Norvell, who both helped create an offensive juggernaut in Memphis, as the team has finished in the top 25 in offensive scoring in each of the past 6 seasons. They've managed great college quarterbacks in Paxton Lynch, Brady White, and Riley Ferguson, and have had some great running backs as well, with Kenny Gainwell the next in line after he just completed a season with 2,000 yards from scrimmage and 16 touchdowns. If the program could perform better on defense, who knows where they could be. But regardless of that fact, the program is doing better than they have ever done before, and they don't appear to be done just yet. But, as always, only time will tell if Memphis football will continue to reach bigger heights and maybe even win a New Year's 6 bowl. This has been the Rise of Memphis Football. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, I will see you guys next time.